Welcome back to Media Mesh, where I give you my unapologetic opinion on everything from music, movies, news, reality TV, and much more as we go down a rabbit hole. Now, today I'm going to be talking about Kanye West, that situation. We're going to get an update from Shanquella's sister. She speaks out, and I have a special surprise toward the end of this show. So make sure you stay tuned until the end, and then we can get into that. Now, first thing we're going to get into, of course, is Ye. He probably saying, oh no, this is the most craziest thing in the world, because I'm thinking to myself, art truly does imitate life sometimes. As D.L. Hughley is using his lyrics against him now, I don't know that it's funny, but of course he's a comedian, so that's what happens, right? But man, Kanye couldn't have prayed for worse. The first mistake he made was marrying this woman. I mean, she was clearly a pass around. And it's one thing to have a history. Everybody has some type of past, whatever, but you may not know it. But when it's known, like, come on. And granted, she does look good, but I mean, you could have found a better looking woman somewhere. But in this case, man, she's definitely coming out on top. They say she's walking away with 10 homes, airline miles, basically all the gifts that he ever bought her. And he replenished her closet. So he actually got her all brand new clothes, took care of everything. My only question is, considering that they're going to have 50-50 custody, that's what, what they're saying, how is it possible for him to get stuck paying $200,000 per month? Right? So both parties get joint custody and will have equal access to their 4 children, but he's paying $200,000 a month. And he's responsible for 50% of the kids' educational expenses, including tuition. And he also must pay 50% of their children's security expenses. So, you mean to tell me that those expenses cannot be absolved in that $200,000 per month? So you just basically giving her $200,000, and then you still got to come out of pocket even more for whatever it costs for them to go to school, whatever security costs on a daily basis, which I'm sure is not cheap. So, man, it just went from bad to worse. You already lost the billionaire status for just saying how you feel. And now you're $200,000 a month in the hole. You're going to see Kanye doing church revival meetings. He about to put out a new record. So I'm speculating. So, but if you like Kanye's music, I would anticipate you about to hear a whole lot of new music. He gonna come up with some shoes. This brother got to get to work. He got to get to work because he got to make some money. This is just beyond me, how you can be able to get $200,000 and something on top of that, considering you're a millionaire. So she's keeping her properties, which I don't know if she's Airbnb-ing them out or renting them, whatever the case is, but you have assets. She has her own money, and yet and still $200,000. But that's how the game go. So he might be riding around in that Hyundai pretty soon, because $200,000 and you got little ones for the next 18 years. So that adds up quick. So it is what it is, but maybe it's just kind of, retribution for, what he alleged happened to his mom. He said his mom was sacrificed. We all know that. So that's what he said. You can't argue with what he said. Nevertheless, somehow, some way, it looks like he's going to pay for getting mixed up with this woman. It's a sad situation, but it is what it is. And that's how the game goes. So moving on, let's get into Shanquella. All right, so now we're going to jump into Shanquella's sister. She speaks out, and, it's actually good to hear her perspective on this. You heard from the mom, you heard from the dad, and now you hear from the sister. This case is definitely going down in the history books. But she basically is saying that, they pretty much lied. Of course they lied. We all know they lied. And the sad part initially for me is that they are all not being extradited. They all were culpable in this situation. They all had an opportunity to prevent this from happening. So this leads me down the line where my mind was thinking the other day, what in the world did she allegedly do? that led these people to conspire, in my opinion. And I would have to say conspire because no one stopped it, right? So it's like if you see someone, they got beat up, okay, cool, that's it. Now, if I'm a man sitting here, number one, I wouldn't be sitting there letting that happen anyway. Now, if that happened and I found out that it happened and I come back in the house and y'all going at it in front of me, I'm breaking it up. That's just me. That's what most real men would do. We're not going to sit there and allow nobody to just be fighting and carrying on. Go your way. That's it. Of course, now a lot of people are speculating the reason behind it. Excuse me. Some people say it's over a dude. Some people say it's over something more sinister. They say she may have been involved in setting up somebody else, which in my mind, I'm thinking it could be the latter, because what else would motivate you to just continue to just fight somebody and take turns allegedly fighting somebody? And I know, some women could feel some type of way over a dude, but like, is it that serious that you're willing to throw your whole life away? Or is there something more sinister? But I do believe we're going to find out. Obviously, this girl is not going to go down by herself. She's not an upstanding person. So why would she want to just spend the rest of her life in some dirty, nasty Mexican prison alone? So everybody else need to get prepared, because they're also going down, and as they should be, because this was ridiculous. But Farsa's sister, she says the last time she saw her when she stopped by to get some luggage before she went on a trip. And the thing I mentioned the other day was that male or so-called man was her friend. And that's what he made her feel comfortable in going over there. She may or may not have known those other chicks. She may have known them in passing or whatever the case, but they knew her. They knew her. But that's why her sister didn't think nothing of it, because her quote unquote best friend was going with her. She says, I was more believing the dude that she went on the trip with because that was her best friend. So I didn't think he would be malicious about anything. I didn't think that he would tell us a lie. I trusted him. So I took his word for it more than anything. And he said it was alcohol poisoning. She goes on to say, they came to meet my mother to talk about the incident that happened in Cabo. Two young ladies and the male told us that there wasn't any type of fighting going on, that they believed what the medic told him, that it was alcohol poisoning. We asked him about the fight because he was hearing from other people, they were hearing from other people that they were out there fighting. They had jumped on her out there. So they was all giving us a story, a lie, until the video surfaced. So, of course, we know that girl, Dejanay, whatever her name is, being charged for femicide. And from what I understand, you're talking about 25 to 50, 60 years. That girl's not going to survive. Obviously, no one's going to care. And had that been my child that participated in something like that, don't worry about commissary, because it's just not happening. You're on your own. You basically, distance yourself from the family. You're disowned, because you know better than to do something like this. So it's just a sad situation, but I'm trusting that justice will be served. My only other question is, since the Mexican police did not treat it as a homicide, what type of evidence do they have? Clearly, they were paid off, or something happened allegedly, because they ruled it as alcohol poisoning. So that's going to be necessary when you go to trial, but at least in the United States. You have to have sufficient evidence. Yes, they have a video, and they've obviously confirmed that this girl was involved. But what other type of hard, concrete evidence do you have to prove your case? But Mexico might be very lax when it comes to evidence. This might be a quick and speedy trial, because I watched my boy TLA, and he mentioned that sometimes it may not even be the judge. So it might even be the judge that's there, which will never happen here in the United States, which is why it takes so long to get to trial, because you're definitely going to see the judge. But however it goes, I pray everything works out well. And it's sad. That's the only word I can keep saying. That's the only thing I can think of. It's like your best friend will participate in your demise. Because my theory is he orchestrated the opportunity for all of them to be in the same place at the same time. Like I said, she may or may not know those girls like that. She didn't know them like that. I don't know. That's just my theory. But he's like, oh no, these are my girls. They cool, whatever. This other guy, let's just all take this trip. So he put his friend directly in harm's way and recorded it. There has to be a penalty, as stiff as the one who actually dealt the death blow. That's my opinion on it. I'll be back with the last topic. Stay tuned. If you're still listening to this point, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you. Let's do it. All right. Well, if you're still here, again, shout out to you. So we're going to get into something else. One sec. All right. And because we dealt with a heavy issue with Shanquella, now we're going to levitate the situation. Miss J Lo, she's apparently going viral for comparing her vocal range to that of Miss Whitney Houston. You know, the reality is, even in death, this woman cannot hold a candle to Whitney Houston. She got to be joking, or she got to be smoking something. Yeah, she got to be smoking something. This is just alleged, this is what she's saying. Because she had an interview, and basically she feels that she wanted to do some Whitney Houston songs. Yeah, she says she has a similar vocal range to Whitney. Like, are you serious? Y'all know how I feel about Miss J Lo. If y'all check my first video, one of my first videos, you'll know how I feel, right? But she was quoted as saying, "I feel that Whitney's songs fit my vocal range very well. I'm going to sing 'I Have Nothing' and 'I Always Love You.'" Let Miss Whitney Houston have something, because it's like, really, you're just going to embarrass yourself. Okay, you made a name for yourself in the business, not for singing. You got hit songwriters. They wrote you some hits. They sang the background vocals. They hooked you up with the auto tune. Leave it at that. Let this black woman rest in peace. Okay? Because I did a video, if you check the playlist, where she was upset that, Goldman Sachs was going to give $100 million to black women for start businesses and things of that nature. And here you are, excuse me, here you are, whoop, excuse me. Here you are again trying to throw shade on another sister. Knock it off. You can't sing. You look good for your age, obviously, but you're taking enough from black people and not giving us credit for it. So that's it. So until next time, guys, peace and love. Be blessed.